The secret to welcoming the non-linear path of achieving your desires. So I wanted to talk about something that's come up on several coaching calls with my clients over the past couple of weeks, and it's on this deep desire to want a feeling, to want to accomplish something, to want to achieve something, and we want it now. And we've been programmed by society to have this quick fix society, right? Like feeling an ailment, I'm going to get on medication, right? Like wanting, whenever there's a feeling that may feel contracted, wanting to make it go away as quickly as humanly possible, right? Like wanting to numb to the feeling, wanting to completely shut it down because it's too much. But it's also the same when it comes to achieving our desires, right? Like I want it and I want it now. And a lot of times we feel like we're failing when perhaps we put something forward in motion and perhaps contraction or resistance comes up, or maybe something comes into our field that at the time is something that's even better, but at the time we can't see it because we're so attached to that outcome. We're so attached to that thing that we put in forward motion. And an exercise that I took my recent clients on is, because it came up twice within the last week, is envisioning, right? Like just imagine that you're on this road trip and envision, if you want to, I invite you to close your eyes and I envision you to visualize yourself in this car. What are you wearing? Is the sun shining? Where are you? Are there mountains? Are there forests? Is there an ocean? And I want you to visualize this fork in the road. And I want you to set an intention of something that you desire, something perhaps, right, as we want to close out the 2021 year, something that we want to put in forward motion in 2022. And I want you to go to the right. And the right path, right, quote unquote, the right path, imagine everything is moving so quickly, right? You're perhaps speeding, perhaps you're going 85 miles an hour, perhaps you're worried about, getting pulled over. Maybe there's all these things and colors and sights and things that are on the side of the road, but you can't actually see them because you're moving so fast. So you have no ability to even know if there's something better. Maybe there's something that might feel good. Maybe there's something that would excite you, but you don't have the ability to actually be present to it because you're moving so quickly. So I want you to feel like what that feels like in your body. And then I want you to envision the left path. You're in this car, this amazing convertible, whatever color you desire it to be. Imagine what you're wearing. Imagine, perhaps you're on the coastline in California and you've got, forest on one side and this beautiful coastline on the other. And imagine that you're able to take the speed at your pace, at the pace that you so choose, at the pace that you are declaring. And maybe there's a detour. Maybe there's somewhere that you want to stop. Maybe you have this ability to, take some photos or to be present or to go walk in nature. Or maybe you have an opportunity to see a friend along the way that you wouldn't have normally seen. And imagine yourself taking your time and imagine, start to feel what that feels like in your body. Start to feel what that feeling feels like of not worrying about how fast we're going to get there and what the path of pleasure feels like, right? And I love this analogy, right? Because the 2 times that I did it earlier this week, there was just this visceral feeling of feeling not enoughness in the first exercise and feeling like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, and feeling like running out of time, and almost having this visceral feeling in the body of anxiousness, and how that manifests in the body as, the heart rate is starting to increase and maybe you start permeating. And then in the other breath, just imagine what that feels like to be present, to have that opportunity to surrender to what is in the form of what it looks like and all the meanderings and all of the different ways that you can actually access what your desire is. Because when we are launching a desire and putting a desire in motion, it's not about the thing. It's never about the thing. It's about the feeling. It's about the feeling that we think we are going to feel, the resonance that we're going to feel when we actually receive the thing. And generally what happens is we work really hard and it's really challenging and we move really fast and we're like steamrolling and we're, pushing and we're operating from this frequency of like more, fast. I want more, I want it faster, that we're not actually feeling what it feels like. Like we're not in the pleasure and the presence of the journey. And so in the latter, right, there's so much opportunity for flexibility and for fluidity, because sometimes the thing that we think we want isn't actually the thing that we want. And there's potentially something better on the other side of that. There's potentially something even more expansive, because what we do as humans is we live in the frequency of what is currently in our field. We live in the frequency of what we've currently manifested in this world, right? When that is just a minuscule, like the puniest, tiniest little thing that's available to us. And so when we're in the frequency of pleasure, which I realize there's this taboo like resonance when it comes to pleasure. And really, to me, pleasure creates presence in our life, and it allows us to feel all of it. It allows us to feel the wholeness of the journey, right? It's welcoming all of the emotions and all of the trials and tribulations and everything that comes through when we're setting a desire in motion. And a lot of times, I feel really passionate about this because we're in this society where we want to fix things so quickly. Like we want the thing and we want it now. And we also don't want to feel the feelings. Like we don't want to actually experience the fullness of what it takes, of the journey to actually getting to where we want to go. And so the secret is not about achieving the thing. The secret is actually the feeling. Oh, hi, Chad. The secret is actually about the feeling. You gonna comment, babe? My husband's watching this in another room. So the secret is in how am I feeling during every step of the way? And how can I self-soothe my way into alignment? How can I choose a new moment? How can I choose a new frequency? How can I recognize that when something comes up that isn't something that I had originally intended when it comes to my desire, how can I welcome that? How can I change my state to be in a space of recognizing that it's happening for me and that the universe never takes away from me anything that is not meant for me? And how can we be in relationship with the journey and all of the emotions that come along with that? Because when we try to rush and force and move quickly and numb and turn certain frequencies and feelings offline, what that happens is a false sense of accomplishment. And generally we get to the thing, either we don't get to the thing and it's really hard, or we get the thing and we realize, wait, I still kind of feel this way, right? So it's about how can we create sacred moments in all areas of life? Like how can we recognize that each moment gets to be sacred no matter where we are at on our journey? And how can we be in the vibration of welcoming all of the frequencies, all of the emotions? Because we cannot experience bliss and freedom and joy and ecstasy and all of these high vibrations that I know so many of us, and abundance and prosperity, right, that so many of us desire, without feeling all of those lower vibration frequencies, which are grief and fear and sadness and agony, frustration, anxiety. And so it's about how we are in relationship, how we dance the dance of feeling those emotions. So I just want to leave you with this, right? Like, if we are choosing the path of pleasure and presence, would you choose the path of, I want to get there as quickly as possible? Or would you choose the path, which is the right path? Or would you choose the left path of, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to self-soothe my way into alignment, I'm going to have a desire and be connected and committed to this desire, but completely unattached to how it unfolds. And I would imagine you would choose the path of pleasure, right? Because that feels good. So when we can be in the emotion of, yes, I choose pleasure, like I choose presence, I choose welcoming all of the emotions, that's when all the fun happens. That's when the manifestation starts to happen. That's when things start to come into your field that you didn't even think was possible. That's when the money starts to come in. That's when the relationship starts to come in. That's when our relationship with ourselves starts to change, because we realize that it starts and ends with us. You know, it's about having peace within ourselves, regardless of our external circumstances, and not letting anyone else or anything else, not our government, not anybody else in our life, not our mentors, not our parents, not our children, not our spouses, dictate how we get to feel. We get to choose that, and we get to continue to create new moments, new moments, and new moments. So with that, I wanted to share, for those of you that are interested, you know that I work with some men, but really my heart lies in working with women, because just living in this world where we're so disconnected from the truth of who we are and so disconnected from our bodies, which allows us to access that presence and allows us to access that pleasure and allows us to access the wholeness of the emotions that we get to feel. I have a free offering. I really feel called for accessibility right now. So I've decided to host a free 3-hour workshop. Usually my workshops are $333. And this is going to be a free 3-hour workshop, a generous give. It's Monday, December 20th at 11 a.m. PST. I'm going to put the link below in the comments to sign up. And really, if you want to explore this possibility a bit more, if you want to explore how to be able to access, this vibration and to feel peace inside of you, regardless of what's going on in your external circumstances, then I invite you to sign up for the workshop. And again, if you do not identify as a woman, there's still opportunities to connect and different offerings that I have. But for this is really about helping women right now that are disconnected from their body wisdom, disconnected from their intuition, feeling shame around feeling their emotions, feeling like they're too much, feeling like they can't use their voice, feeling like they're too emotional, and really living from a place of living outside of ourselves for the answers. So if this sounds like you and you'd like some support, I invite you to come December 20th, 11 a.m. PST, 3 hours, completely free. We've got an amazing community and I can't wait to see you. And feel free to DM me or comment if you have any questions. Talk to you soon.